Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a blast because we have a lot of cool stuff to go over today. We're going to do food plot. We're going to use two new pieces of equipment, and I'm going to go through some stages of how to do a food plot. I think they make it a lot easier, and I think it may help you guys. So anyway, man, I got some cool stuff for the tractor. The T4058 is a beast. It lifts a lot on the front and the rear, and it's going to have to do that today. Check this out. So this, my friends, is a brand new Eastonmade FG60, I believe they call it. It is the FG6013. I'm not sure what that means, but this is number 8 of 25. This is how craft made these things are. Like, Eastonmade is a fantastic company. They really got started doing firewood processors, and it's very similar to Baumlight. They're a Canadian company, but they make stuff so overbuilt. These are lifetime purchases. They're not cheap. They're not, they're not going to be the budget kind of option, but this is the lifetime option. Check this out. This is 3/4 inch AR400 steel. This is 1/2 inch AR400 steel. That is, like, if you don't know about steel, which I'm not a big steel guy, I don't know a ton about it, but not all steel is created equally. I have another grapple over here. I call it my grapple because I bent it moving some elm logs. Like, the tine's bent. It's just kind of been a hassle. That's why something like this is going to be lights out. I'm not really doing a bunch of grapple work today, but this is getting set up to be kind of like my food plot and whitetail prep machine, because this is kind of what you need when you're making food plot stuff. You come across a big rock, you come across a big limb. You guys will see a lot of this thing on the channel, but thank you, Andrew Easton and the Eastonmade family. They are a small business. They are a family-run and family-owned business, and I'm just grateful to have their partnership. Like, it's awesome to have that. I'll leave links down below where you can find out where to purchase something like this if you're interested. They also have, this is a 60 inch. They also have a smaller one. They also have a wider one, and they have a massive one. The skid steer's parked over there, and I kind of wish, when I talked to Andrew, I would have said, yeah, man, send me the Mac Daddy skid steer grapple, because I really need one of those. But, I use the tractor more, and this will get seen a lot more probably on the tractor than it would be on the skid steer, but man, that'd be nice to have. All right, let's take a look at this. So this is a new tiller I'm working with, and this is it's like a Terra, I can't remember what it's called. I picked this thing up. It wasn't expensive. It was kind of a deal, but it's a Terra Force, I think, and super beefy. I mean, look at the way this thing is built. I like stuff that's kind of overbuilt. I like stuff that's really kind of solid and it's going to last, because we do have a lot of rough terrain out here, and you can't really have light duty stuff. Right off the bat, I realized that these are oil bathed bearings, so you don't really need to grease it. I don't believe there's a grease zerk anywhere on this thing. Everything is oil bathed, and I like that the springs are here instead of that chain. My other one, man, it was a Titan implement, which is now Ironcraft. I broke that chain so many times, I just gave up and finally had to settle for, the material, and I don't have to do that now. I love the way that this looks, man. This is a great setup, and I'm so blessed to have it. But first I need to hook the plumbing up to the grapple so we can make sure everything works and there's no leaks. I doubt there is, because these guys are so meticulous about what they do. And we're ready to rock and roll. Appreciate y'all coming along with me. Okay, let's do a quick overview of our workspace here today. So I've already put out videos on taking the Baumlight brush mulcher and brush mulching that trail going up to that blind, and actually taking out some of that foliage on the left. The leaves will fall, so the rest will be okay. That's really a gun stand unless the deer work their way up there, which that's all planted as well. I did that in that video. This food plot over here is about 3 acres on the other side of this little berm, and that is all disked. That was done with a completely different implement, and part of this video is having the discussion of what's better for you, a tiller or a disc, because I ask myself that question all the time. We have a lot of rocks out here, so with the disc, I think it's worked out really well for us because the tiller wasn't in the rocks. This has been tilled before, so virgin soil, I think the disc is best, but then when you get something like this, which is about 1 acre, the tiller is really best for this because you can't really turn around as much in it. So we'll talk a little bit about that here at the end of the video, but I have always started from this point and worked my way down while tilling. So this time I'm going to change things a little bit. This is a slope. It's hard on camera to tell a slope, but since this is sloping down to that corner, I'm actually going to be pulling the soil up. I know it's silly and it probably doesn't do anything, but in my mind it tells me, like, okay, well, if you're constantly tilling in the same direction, you're bringing all the topsoil in one direction. So maybe by coming this way, I'm actually changing it a little bit, and I may get a little bit more resistance because, you know, once you start tilling in a certain way, you're kind of training the greenery and the weeds and the foliage and everything to go a certain way. So let's pull it the other way, and we're gonna put a little more stress on the tractor, to be honest, because that's pulling a lot of weight uphill while you're tilling. And I don't know, I think I think it's the right thing to do. It makes sense to me, but maybe I'm not really explaining it well. I'm hoping this doesn't make a dusty mess, but it's probably going to, so let's get to work. Okay, we're gonna let the tractor run because anytime we run a tractor hot, or like any diesel engine really, there's a turbo in there, and if that turbo is, you know, running real hot, and you just turn the engine off, it's not good for it. You really want to let it kind of cool itself down. Even gas engines, let the radiator do its thing, and, you know, don't just kill it the second you're done. Just a tip. I don't know, you guys may already know that, but man, this looks good. So there's still a bunch of this like thatch or whatever you want to call it that's kind of been ground in there. That'll just be organic material with the soil. It helps build soil. I'm perfectly cool with that. I've noticed that a lot of the rocks that we've taken out of here, we're not having as much of a rock problem as we did before because, you know, by hand, went through here and just kept picking these things up, buckets full, like nonstop, and got them out. Now, that tiller is doing a fantastic job, and this is why. See how this is kind of packed down right there from the tractor tires? That's telling me that I don't really want to put a cultipacker on here, because if I put seed on there, the rain is going to set that. So I don't think that I want to cultipack this and then have that seed sitting on top of the soil, because if I do that, then I'm afraid some of the smaller seeds may get packed in a little bit too tight. We're supposed to have rain for the next 2 days, which, I mean, we're supposed to have rain when I planted that food plot, like 70% chance of rain. It didn't rain at all. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to seed this, and I'm going to come back and spray it with some soil amendments, which will raise the pH as well as put some fertilizer in here. And man, I'm happy with how this did. So we talked earlier about like the difference between a cultipator or a disc harrow, which is, you know, I'll put some images in here of that disc harrow working. A disc harrow versus a tiller. Now a disc harrow, these are some of the differences. You go much faster with a disc. Like those pans will cut through the soil, and you have to go fast to kind of throw the soil off. A tiller is really wanting to have some time to work that material. So this blade is sitting in here with this box and just kind of spinning this stuff around to pulverize it. Whereas with a disc, it really makes big clumps. With the disc, I had to cultipack it. I couldn't just go straight from that to putting seed out, because first of all, it'd be lumpy as anything, and second of all, it just wouldn't have been a very smooth seed bed. This is really smooth. These lumps and stuff you're seeing, that's really just grass. Like that's just dead grass. You saw me with the grapple take that big pile of dead thorns and everything. That was from brush mulching. I just want to get them out of the way so I can do this swath. This is already planted, and I'm going to go look at what domain seed I have. And I think I'm going to do this in a blend of domain, and I'm also going to overseed it with some clover. Anytime you're doing a fall food plot, don't plant clover as your food plot for the fall. It will not grow fast enough. The deer will mow it down, but you can do it as a supplement that will start to grow, the deer will typically eat the other stuff and leave the clover alone. And then the clover will start to come up, and hopefully that'll be your spring food plot. And then in the wintertime, you'd overseed it and frost seed it. You know, if the ground's frozen, whatever, just cast the clover out there. That should really start to help you establish it. But anyway, man, what do you think? All right, I'm gonna take the tractor back to the house, probably get the blower and blow that thing off. I don't want to get a bunch of mud clumps and stuff in it. And let's go get the T-Boss 1000. We're gonna fill up that tank with water. We're gonna spray these amendments. And then we're actually gonna do 2 tanks. One will be a pH booster, then we'll do the fertilizer. And I think we'll just cast the seed. Maybe we'll do the seed first. I don't know. Let's go see what seed we have. Okay, we're gonna get some of this chemicals. Man, this new barn is awesome, guys. So my buddy Kyle, I wanna give a shout out to Kyle again. Spicer Designs, excellent channel. Man, from an electrical standpoint, the dude's a genius, and praise the Lord that he helped me do this work, because this is going to be amazing. I'm getting just a taste of what it's like to use it, but I'm not there yet. We are going to get organized. All right, so this is the kind of stuff we're using today. So we have elbow grease by Domain. This stuff raises pH in the soil, so we'll get some of these. I believe this covers 1/4 acre, so we're gonna need 4 of these. And then we're gonna use the next round, Cranked and Freight Train. So Freight Train is a very high in nitrogen, so it's gonna boost the nitrogen in the soil. And then this is more of a fertilizer. It's gonna be more for like just more of a global kind of seed. So I'm not gonna grab these right now. We'll come back and get these. But let's get the elbow grease in the ground, and then let's go pick some seed that we want to put out there. So typically, if I'm using like a glyphosate or something like that, that's a chemical that kills everything, I won't put that in there until I'm out in the field. But this is going to help stuff. So if I spill some, great. And by putting it in here now, this will actually help kind of mix everything up while I'm driving. So it says it's a fast-acting liquid calcium that also improves soil health by having some microbes in there, I believe. But all I know is that it sure beats bringing a bunch of things of lime in and out of a field. I'll leave a link to Domain's products down below. They are a partner of the channel. I buy a lot of their stuff, but they'll provide some of this stuff to us too, to kind of use it and test it and tell us what we think, tell them what we think, and then also share it with you guys. I have been too busy this year with family and kids and this project and work to really kind of get anything done. I don't know how we get anything done around here, but we're trying, we're doing our best. But this is a really nice stopgap solution to, life gets busy and you forget to lime, or you don't have the chance to lime. This saves your bacon. And I'm 4 for 4 throwing it in that box. Boom. Not bad. I bought this tank from Tractor Supply, and I think I paid $750 for it. Big investment, but man, it makes, again, going back to time management, it makes everything so much easier because I'm not going back and forth, getting water, going back and forth. Well, that's a good sign. It also means we need a boogie. Not gonna lie, it's not always the most exciting thing in the world to do a food plot. So going about 3 to 4 miles an hour, just let the chemical get out there. What I'll do is I'll go in circles, and then I'll likely have more of this liquid calcium, and I'll just go back and forth and back and forth. This way I get good coverage. The clouds are definitely starting to darken up, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this out, then seed, and then I'll come back with the fertilizer and put that over the seed, because this way if it starts pouring, at least with a side-by-side, and you can fertilize in the rain, that's not gonna pop. But yeah, lots of time to reflect. Yeah, it looks like that rain's coming, so I'm about halfway through with this tank, and I'm gonna go ahead and stop and seed, because this way if it rains and I have to stop because it's getting muddy, well, at least I'm not missing out on this rain. So yeah, let's do that. Okay, this is for myself just as much as you guys. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna split this plot into 2 different sides. I'm gonna do Smackdown and Green Machine, mix these together. It's kind of a oats, winter peas, that kind of stuff, brassicas. And then we're gonna go a little heavier with purple top turnips and everything on the right-hand side. And then No BS, which is like, again, it's kind of an oat heavy, very tolerant to rough soil blend. And then Big Sexy, which is like the radish, kale, forage rape. So I'll do half and half. It's a little bit more seed than I probably need, but that's okay because, you know, there's gonna be birds, gonna be stuff that kind of get into this stuff, and there's not, you know, there's not a seed in here that's gonna do terribly. There's some brassicas in here, but not the end of the world. So, all right, let's get to work. Make sure this thing's closed. I do that every time. I really like this one. I've done a video on the electric one, and I have it. It's not bad. It's just, I like the feel of being able to know, you know, kind of what's going in there, or the rate at least. So there he goes, green machine. Domain does a really good job also of letting it, coming up with blends where you can kind of like supplement or blend them together. So they play nice together, we'll put it that way. Again, probably a little more than we need. That's okay. Should be good to go. You're gonna look ridiculous with this thing, but it's okay. It's all for fun in the fall. Well, man, I boogied to try and beat the rain that looked like it was imminent, and now it may miss us, so not a whole lot I can do. But regardless, this has to get in there. Go on the ground. 1 for 1, 2 for 2, 3 for 3. 5 for 5. 6 for 6. Well, I'm not going to bore you with spraying the fertilizer because that's exactly what I just did with spraying the elbow grease, which is the pH enhancer, but I will bore you with showing you putting up a nice fresh new cell cam. What you notice about this camera, there's no ants. I'm going to show you how I did that here in a second. Holding the camera so I'm one-handed here, friends. Well, send me a test picture, but it's not showing up now. Maybe it'll show up later. But anyway, you spray the cameras with permethrin, and that will kill ants and spiders and all kinds of things that want to make your photos not come through well. I'm just kicking down some weeds that could give it a false trigger. We should be good to go though. I don't know why it's not sending. I just saw it on the preview. Let's see if I can see that. No, it's okay. The camera's a good spot. Man, here we are. The Coliseum, Narnia. That's kind of what we call this plot, the Narnia plot. Coliseum, that's the Narnia blind. And I think you guys get a pretty good idea of what my setup is. So I've actually planted that walkway. I'll leave all that brush. So hopefully we have a lot of movement encouraged, 3 acres on that side. Movement encouraged here, blind there, blind there. I've thought about putting a ladder stand somewhere up here at some point. I just don't think it's worth it. I think that, you know, there's so much comfort here already. And like I've said in other videos, we're not a Brown Us Down channel. We're not really trying to mow all the deer down in the neighborhood. We just really enjoy watching the wildlife and kind of building these little, you know, set the chessboard up to see if you can manipulate their movement. So the side-by-side actually cultipacked a lot of the stuff in. I don't think it's too deep. There's some seeds here, and it's probably about 1/4 of an inch. There's a clover seed. I actually put a little clover in there too. And there's a pea. There's some more seeds. So yeah, we're not too deep. The rain is held off for now, but we have rain in the forecast the next 4 days. So it was like, this was a great gamble to get done. And we got to experience the new tiller, which I think it did a great job. Like, that is a very nice tiller. I have a tiller. I'm going to sell it and get rid of it because I'm, you know, it's just, there's nothing wrong with it. It works fine. It's just, it doesn't do this, right? It jumps around too much. It doesn't have the weight. So like a rock like this, if you're buying a tiller, you want weight, because if it hits this rock and chips a piece of it off, a light tiller is just going to hop over it, and it's just not a pleasant experience when you're tilling, because every time that tiller jumps around, you feel it. Doesn't matter what tractor you're in. So I'm going to sell that other tiller, and then that grapple, man, it's hard to explain. Like, it is so well built. The welds are beautiful. Like, that is a craftsman's grapple. Like, that is really nice. So I'm probably going to sell my other grapple too. So if anybody wants to buy a tiller or a grapple, hit me up. They both work great, but they're not as great as what I have now. So constantly trying to better our position and, you know, just get good tools here on the farm, help us do the things we enjoy doing. But man, this thing has lived a life. And there's my little Klein Tools fan. I love that thing. That thing is awesome. Well, guys, I appreciate you coming along with me today. Man, this was really kind of in the spirit of just trying some new tools. And again, I really had the question of, I wanted to till this and I wanted to do the disc harrow on the other side and just kind of see, like, which one do I like better? Do I like the disc? Because the disc is fast, real fast. This took way more time to do this 1 acre than it did to do the 3 acres of tilling, like tilling versus disking. And disking's a little bit more fun, to be honest. Like, tilling's boring, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it's relaxing, it's beautiful scenery and everything, but when you have an hour and a half of tilling ahead of you, and you've already kind of enjoyed the outdoors, you're kind of like, great. So getting it done quicker, so you can get the other stuff done, helps. Also, my neighbor Guido, he did his plots with that disc, and he really enjoyed using it. So he actually used the, he used the 4058, and they just had a good experience with that. So he has a Coyote 60, NX 6010, very nice tractor, but he just wanted to try the TLM and he enjoyed it. Plus it's kind of a pain taking the disc off and on, so it just made more sense for him to just use that one. But, well guys, I appreciate you watching this video and coming along with me, and we're gonna have a fun year. If you wanna see some videos of hunting or like going out to the blind, you know, this is not gonna be a channel where you can't watch it with your family. We'll just leave it at that. But if you wanna watch some videos of like getting out to the blind and hunting and some hunting chores and just kind of seeing wildlife, and we may take one, I don't know, we'll see what happens. But if you want to see those, let me know in the comments, because if you do, then I'll make some videos like that. But it seems like in the past, those videos don't really do very well, maybe because people just don't like it as much. I think people really love the tractors and machines, but maybe not so much the sport of hunting or the process of hunting. So you let me know what you think. If you want more deer chores videos or kind of deer tools videos, let me know. I have a video where I'm going to be doing mock scrapes that should be really, really cool. And I think there's one tool for the whitetail hunter that is imperative, and it's not what you think. And I'm going to do a video on that. So appreciate you guys watching this video. I'll catch you in the next one. Joe the Farmer. We out.